There's more to the east coast than its stunning coastline. There's huge, barely tapped potential in the bush-clad hillsides. And it's the Manuka flower that's attracting attention, both from local Maori and from scientists. Because of its unique healing powers, Manuka honey has become hot property and returns are high. There's amazing value stored away in this one shed alone. Whether it's conventional or Manuka honey, the extraction method is much the same to start with. Then there is a difference. Each batch has to be clearly identified with where it was collected, for good reason. Harry Satchell needs to know which locations may have the almost magical property UMF, unique Manuka factor.
This is the storage room where we turn around when the honey is produced, and all the drums are brought in here, the full drums, and then we stack them into big pallets, which turns around, we put 4 on a major pallet.
So how many drums have you got so far? During storage, the honey in these drums could triple in value.
So the value could increase based on the unique Manuka factor.
This is this UMF they keep talking about.
The UMF is what we're talking about, and we're hoping that all our drums are UMF. But we wait for the laboratory tests to come back, and that identifies the unique Manuka factor.
So what exactly is this UMF?
But we do believe that the red Manuka produces UMF. But the better the UMF, the better the medical regime in terms of the honey factor.
Right. It's in the laboratories at Waikato University where you're most likely to find Professor Peter Molan. He's devoted more than 2 decades exploring the health values in honey. As a result of his research, it's now widely accepted that Manuka honey contains special healing qualities ideal for treating infection. It's what he calls UMF, unique Manuka factor. Although Professor Molan was convinced, initially his view wasn't shared by the medical profession.
It took a while to get medical people to give it a try after we had shown that Manuka honey had some unique antibacterial properties that gave it the potential for being a lot better than other honey. But once at Waikato Hospital they did start trying it on cases where nothing else was working, it showed that it was very effective in clearing up those infections.
But the research hit a snag. It was found that some batches of Manuka honey attacked bacteria more effectively than others.
When Manuka honey was first sold for its antibacterial properties, people thought that all Manuka honey had that activity, which is not the case. It varies very much in the strength of activity. So to protect the consumer, to let them know they were getting the ones with the activity, the producers were putting on the label the level of antibacterial activity, and the Ministry of Health said they couldn't do that. It was a therapeutic claim. So I came up with the idea of just putting a simple rating of activity level without saying antibacterial. So this was where that UMF term came from.
Professor Molan then set about devising a technique to measure the quantity of bacterial activity.
We put the solution of honey into holes cut in an agar plate with bacteria in the agar. Activity diffuses out, and the stronger it is, the further out it diffuses, and we just measure how big that area is in which the bacteria haven't grown. And compare that with a standard antiseptic, which is phenol, and then we just say that the size of that activity, the size of the zone, is the same as from a particular strength of phenol. So we can then give a number like 10 is the activity strength of 10 is the same activity as a 10% solution of phenol. Activity of 20, that's the same strength as a 20% solution of phenol.
But that still left one mystery. The UMF, or healing power, in Manuka honey sometimes increases when it's left in storage, and no one knows why. And there's another puzzle. Why is it some batches of honey can double or triple in UMF strength, and some batches stay at the original harvest level?
There's a lot of mysteries about it. We just haven't had the funding to do the research, finding out more about what's actually going on in the honey, or finding out what the actual nature of that molecule is. That's something I've just been working on as I get the chance over the 25 years, and getting fairly close, but still have not actually isolated and purified that molecule.
We did things a little bit differently in that because it was a new product to me, normally you would probably start with marketing on your own turf on the domestic market. My background was marketing fresh produce, fruit and vegetables, specifically into Japan. So all I did was, when we started, is contacted some of my old friends in Japan and who started networking into other areas that they operated in, and put me in touch with people who could handle the product. From there, we've slowly spread from Japan into other parts of Asia, and that's where we're concentrating our marketing right now.
And why not the local market?
Well, we've found, with the little amount of marketing we've done on the local market, it's a product that the average New Zealand consumer doesn't know a lot about, and the cost of the Manuka honey in particular far exceeds the traditional honeys on the shelf in the supermarkets, your Clover, etc., for the same size jar sitting right next to a Manuka honey. So your average consumer's going to go in and say, well, that's far too expensive. Having said that, the people who know the product just can't get enough of it. So there's a bit of promotional stuff that needs to be done, probably on the domestic market. There are a couple of major players in the industry who are doing a good job on that line, but for us at the moment, we're strictly concentrating on our international markets.
Can you tell us a little bit about the development of the label? How did you go about that?
Yeah, that was probably one of the toughest nuts we had to crack, is to find a label that was attractive to mainly the international consumers. And because of who we are, totally integrated Maori company, we're finding that we had some customers who came in and spent a bit of time here with us and got a feeling for the district, if you like, and they wanted a label with a Māori theme to it. So hence the Aura brand with the Maori theme, with a bit of a spiel on what it means, and we've found that it's become really popular.
And what about the future, Les?
It's onwards and upwards. It's pretty, having an unlimited supply of the resource here. You know, the world is our oyster. That's how we see it. We're pretty excited about the whole thing.
And that enthusiasm is shared by Professor Molan, who can see the day when Manuka honey is used widely in medicine.
The usage of honey now as wound dressings for infected wounds is increasing so rapidly that I think it's going to become quite a scarce resource. And to be able to get the maximum amount of activity out of the honey that's harvested, I think will become quite important.
To learn more about this program, go to tvnz.co.nz, keyword country calendar. Next week, we go mustering in central Otago and meet the young couple who run the massive Branches station.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.